are unable to produce because of vandalism, because of oil theft, etc. And these are challenges that we have consistently said we are working hard to deal with, and other parties, state governors, especially those in whose states these things take place, should all help us, because it is not just NNPC cannot do all of this, and the communities in which these things operate should also help.
Well, I'm going to have to hand over to Lagos now. I guess that the rest of the crew still have questions pending for you. Right now, we're speaking with Mr. Omar Ibrahim, who is the General Manager, Media Relations Department, Group Affairs Division of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC. Let's back to you in Lagos.
Well, many thanks, Mark, but a whole lot has been said about this particular letter. It's a correspondence between Lamido Sanusi and the presidency at that time. And Nigerians are saying, well, the issue of who leaked the document or this correspondence, which actually was dated in September, shouldn't be the question. And I'm hoping that, well, Mr. Omar Ibrahim should be able to give answers to all of this, because the question here, a whole lot of people have said so many things. I'll give you an instance, Mr. Farouk, because you also could have said, I'll give a quote from you: for the avoidance of doubt, it needs to be stated that a figure of 594.024 million barrels of crude oil given by the CBN as the total crude oil lifting for the period of January 2012 to July 2013 does not represent the correct picture of crude oil lifting for the period. And I'm sure you're also aware a whole lot well has been said, but you see, we're trying to look at how, well, Mr. Farouk is still very much in the studios in Abuja, but we'll get back to him. But we'll try to look at how this can be resolved, because what Mr. Sanusi was saying at that point in time, he actually stated what he wanted clarification on, and I'm hoping that Mr. Omar Ibrahim should give us answers to that. He specifically said, well, the presidency should require NNPC to provide evidence for disposal of all proceeds of crude sales diverted by the CBN and Federation account, as well as investigate crude oil lifting and swap contracts, as well as the financial transactions of counterparties for equity, fairness, and transparency, and so on. But he said, well, it's all politics.
It's this story about the NNPC and the light into what goes on there has been going back and forth. It's not something that started today, and hopefully today we'll get to see some light shed. Mark, we asked the question: Is it true that the NNPC, everything around the NNPC is murky? Mr. Farouk should be able to answer some of those questions.
Well, anyway, we get back to you now, Mr. Omar Ibrahim, and the big question, and I'm sure you have seen that particular letter is no longer a secret document. Well, you know, specifically, Mr. Sanusi asked that the NNPC should provide evidence of disposal of all proceeds of crude sales diverted from the CBN and Federation account. We have two things here now: a case of diversion and non-transparency of, should I say, the deals of crude oil sales from the corporation. What do you have to say on this?
Our position is that there isn't any money that NNPC is supposed to have remitted into the central bank account that it has not done. We have remitted every single kobo that we are obliged to. The difference is that we have remitted these monies into different accounts with the CBN. One account by NNPC's account with the CBN. The second is FRS account with the CBN. The third is DPR's account with the CBN. If you go into these accounts, total or sum them up, you will find that there is no way 76% of national proceeds from crude oil will be lost. Everything is in that account. Luckily, in the next day or two, a reconciliation meeting is going to take place, and we will know the truth after the meeting.
Well, Nigerians can't wait for that particular reconciliation to take place. But I still want to go with your statement earlier in the week. You said from your records, the correct figure is 618.55 million barrels. That means that the NNPC understated the actual crude lifted by 4.13%. Tell us what you mean by this. If the NNPC has actually understated what it says is missing, and you're saying, no, wait a minute, the actual deal is this amount, it means you have, well, an updated version of transactions, isn't it?
No, what we said is that the central bank governor's figure is 594. Our own figure is higher. It's 618. The same thing with the lifting and also what we paid into the Federation account. The central bank said NNPC paid 15 billion. We are saying that our records show that we paid 18.8 billion in the central bank account.
Okay. Okay, if I may come in here, Mr. Ibrahim, you paid you say you remitted about 18.48 billion, that's about 27.5% into the Federation account, and that the CBN acknowledged 15.52 billion, that's about 24%. Now, why that disparity? Why would the CBN be acknowledging something less when you paid 18.48?
Well, we said the reconciliation meeting is going to take place, and I want to believe that we will see where the wrong figures came from, where there was the discrepancies came from. But for now, we know for sure that this is what we paid, and this is what our records show.
This reconciliation meeting, you usually have reconciliation meetings between the CBN, the NNPC, the Federal Inland Revenue Service. I mean, if you have reconciliation meetings and the DPR, which are supposed to be consistent every time you make a remittance for one thing or the other, why do we have this kind of disparities coming forth? I mean, my colleague Mark, I asked you a question earlier. The issues around the NNPC owing money or not remitting funds did not begin today. I mean, they've been dating as far back as even beyond 2009.
Sure, there have been accusations, there have been allegations, there have been series of investigations. We have attended to each and every request made in terms of getting information. Only 2-3 months ago, the House of Reps Committee upstream were in our office. They got everything they needed to get. We've been summoned to the National Assembly several times. We have gone and given the information required of us. People may not be satisfied because there is this misperception about the corporation, a misperception that we're working hard to change. And like I've said before, this is not what you're saying about NNPC or public perception about NNPC. It's really not just about NNPC. It's unfortunate. It's something about the leadership of this country from independence today. Whoever goes to become a president or minister or what, people automatically begin to think that, hey, he's joined the club of, it shouldn't be so. We have to learn to trust our institutions. Then we'll make some progress.
Well, anyway, trust comes.
We are not saying
trust comes from example.
We have consistently said that we do face challenges in the NNPC. A lot of efforts have been made in the last few years to move it to become a better run organization. We are doing it, and all of these criticisms, allegations, attacks, we believe are helping us seriously to get to stand on our toes and be ready to do what we need to do best for this country. We do not hold or withhold any funds that should go to the federal government or a federation account. Luckily, like I said, there will be a meeting in the next couple of days to reconcile this, and we hope that when the results come out, we will be able to come out and tell you that this is where we got the wrong figures, or rather.
Well, no, allow me come in here because I'm also worried that this letter dated September, well, it's just coming to the fore, and we're just getting to hear NNPC